Join us at Women of Courage and celebrate the achievements of women. Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in. This is Gloria Lee, the moderator for the show Women of Courage. Wherever you are in the world, I need you to know one thing right now. You are amazing. I know you might be upset. I know you might be hurting. And I know you might be frustrated. I know because all of these things happened to me. I was homeless for 2 years, and all I had was a computer, my son, and a car. I want you to know you still have a purpose in life, and it is my job to help you believe that again. Do you want to believe? Can you see that the divorce was not meant to take you out? Can you believe that the lost house and the lost job is a setup for something greater? By the end of this broadcast, you'll be injected with so much that you cannot help but believe again. And I am going to help you do just that. Are you ready? I got some things I want to share with you. And I will even make suggestions on books and activities that you can implement, which will ultimately bring healing and wholeness to you. If you are ready to be healed, if you're ready to be whole, just jot down the pointers I give and watch your life transform. No matter what happened, no matter whose fault it was, today is a new day, and your time to live and be free is now. Join me in this journey to wholeness. Your time for total healing is now. Today you shall recover. Wholeness, healness, and peacefulness is in the mind. That is where all battles for life end and begin.
Today, I choose love. From my past, my future, to my family and friends, I choose love. With everything we've got going on in the world today, all the hate and negativity, love is all we have, and it's all we need. If you can start each day with love, you will watch your world change. But the time is now to forgive, to forget, to move on. Do this and your perspective will change. If I know one thing, I would rather live in a world with love and openness than a world full of pain. And it's our choice to believe in something bigger than us. One world, one people, one love.
The Women of Courage show is being broadcast by the Women and Children's Restoration Ministries to help you problem solve, to help you dream again, to help you believe that anything is possible. We want you to believe that you do not have to marry the first man you meet just to get someone to take care of you. You do not have to live a life of drudgery. You can educate yourself. All you have to do is learn to read competently. We want you to take a chance on yourself. Stop believing all the soothsayers around you that have never left the state in their lives. People who do not have courage to fly. People who only think of lying, cheating, and stealing. You can live an exciting life. All you have to do is believe that you can make your dreams come true. You do not have to go to bed with someone you despise day in and day out. You have the right to marry someone that you can talk to someone that believes in you and has faith in you as a human being. In other words, you do not have to settle for just anyone. But what you must do is strive toward your goal. You must be goal oriented. You must organize yourself. You must be clear about what you want in life and why you want such a life. All of us are made up of dreams. As our dreams unfold in our lives, our spirit soars. Realizing our dreams becomes a problem because oftentimes we are beaten down by our friends and family. We are beaten down at school by people laughing at us because of our shoe size, our ear size, our breast size, the clothes we wear, etc. We are beaten down by people saying nothing will come of our lives. We are beaten down when our mothers and grandmothers constantly say that we're going to be just like our father, an inmate in prison. Many of us are also discouraged when our mothers are inattentive. She is wrapped up in her new boyfriend. But life anew is possible. It is my job to encourage you to go as far as you can dream and as far as your dreams can take you. It is my job to get you to believe in life again. I am sick and tired of people failing at life just because they are around negative speaking and negative acting people. Do not let the failure of other people make you lose confidence in yourself. Yes, you may be surrounded by poverty, but you must look for a way out. The book, If You Believe in God, You Do Not Belong in Prison, will help you. What you must do above all else is learn to read competently. You must read, and read. Anyone who laughs at you for reading, you need to leave that person alone. I do not care if it's your mother. Anyone who discourages you, you are to stop all association. Man is not different than plants. We need encouragement to grow as plants need water to thrive. You are to leave foolish, stupid people alone. Their ignorance will weigh you down or even get you killed. Sit down and think how you can avoid these people, especially if they're in your family. If you are overwhelmed with the tiring feeling that feels as if you're carrying a bag of stone around every morning when you get out of bed and think how you'll have to spend another living life you're not passionate about, the books I suggest are the perfect solution for your unique needs. Not only will we help you realize why these feelings overwhelm you and what you can do to change it, but they will also teach you how to live a life of strength, courage, fearlessness in order to realize all of your dreams. If you are lacking the attitude and psychology, proper resource or vision to make your dreams a reality, combined with dissatisfaction with the execution of your plans, but you remain firmly dedicated to making your ambition a reality and creating the life you deserve, you will certainly derive the most benefit from professional, incredible content within these books. Contents that will assist you in achieving the results that you are after. You are never to give up on yourself. Are you ready to leave your future to chance? Of course not. Take your life in your hand and learn all the necessary tools, mindset, strategies used by the men and women of courage used in order to live the life of their dream. Change your life with our book starting today. Dear male listeners, our show may be called Women of Courage, but our name should not stop you from listening to our show. You have as much to learn and to consider as women. Why? Because many of you are fathers, sons, and brothers, and you need to understand those forces and situations that affect the female members of your family. So we do implore you to listen to our show with an ear for understanding. Thank you. I have discussed reading on several of my shows. I made these discussions because I believe reading is important. I think reading is a fundamental function in life. I truly believe the more one reads, the greater the life a person can potentially have. This is why I'm going to discuss reading again. I do not think I can talk enough about reading. Reading is one of the most important activities that a person can participate in. A world of information is available to you when you read. This information can help you shape and change your life. Reading can instruct you on how to conduct a conversation at an embassy, how to talk to people that you do not know, how to talk to people about everyday subjects that they would enjoy. Reading can help you learn how to fish. Reading can help you learn how to solve math problems. Reading can help you learn a new profession. Reading can help you learn how to eat better, how to meet people, how to select a hobby. The field is endless to what reading can offer you. What I want to do today is to help you to develop a conviction for reading. Let's explore the word conviction. The word conviction is a noun. The word conviction has two meanings. One is a formal declaration that someone is guilty of a criminal offense made by the verdict of a jury or the decision of a judge in a court of law. For example, one can say in a sentence, she had a previous conviction for a similar offense. So in this situation, we know we're talking about someone that is a felon. The second meaning for the word conviction is a firmly held belief or an opinion. This is the meaning that we are going to consider today. Think about a firmly held belief or an opinion. Religion is a firmly held conviction. What we want to do today is to develop a firmly held conviction that reading can change our lives. Therefore, we should read every day. I'm going to try to prove to you today that if you begin a lifetime of reading, these efforts will change your life forever, and that your efforts in reading will impact your family more than you can imagine. Because when your children see you read, they will learn the value of reading from your behavior. Studies have shown that the third grade is the tipping point for future success as a learner and a member of society. Up to the third grade, we learn to read. After the third grade, we read to learn. If this critical skill is not mastered by age 8, people not only fall behind in school, they fall behind in life. And the proof of that is in our prison system. Our prisoners are filled with people who do not know how to read. The men in prisons are fathers, sons, and brothers needed in our homes. The women that are in prison are the mothers and daughters and sisters that are needed in the home. Reading will restore men and women Reading will restore families, and reading will heal the wounds caused by the inability to read. Reading is not a simple behavior. Reading is intricate in formulating how you want to live your life. When you cannot read, you will not pay your bills correctly. You will not buy the right car. You will not know how to purchase a home. You will not know how to complete your income tax. You will waste money in bars. You will purchase cheap items to bolster your self-esteem. You will live in a poor neighborhood. You will not have a savings account or checking account because you don't know how to manage banking and checking accounts. You will pay more money for goods and services. You will be at the mercy of your fellow man. Your children may or may not go to college. Many of the girls will become pregnant and never graduate from high school. You will suffer with many illnesses brought on because of a poor diet or poor eating habits and tradition. You will become more and more adamant and shun change, all because you do not have the knowledge you need from reading. The Women of Courage show is dedicated to improving the lives of people we serve. This is why we have designed the Wall Project to provide books for people in prison. The purpose of this program is to try and rehabilitate prisoners before they are paroled. We want to change the way that they think, and books can help do that. The reason why so many men and women end up in prison is because they are ill prepared to assume the responsibility of adulthood, and they cannot read. They are illiterate. Because of their illiteracy, they cannot find jobs or express themselves without violence. Once rejected from the job market, they turn to crime to make a living, and they turn to drugs to bolster their self-esteem. If the men and the women in prison are not rehabilitated while in prison, when they are paroled, they will not be able to compete in the job market, and they will repeat the same behavior. People will be killed on the streets, homes will be broken into, and elderly women will be murdered in their beds. Now imagine you are a student in school and you have been assigned to give a speech before your class. You've never given a speech before, so what do you do? Do you sit and fret about giving the speech, or do you seek information that will tell you how to give that speech? If you are smart, you will go to the library and ask a librarian if she can give you some good books on how to give a speech. Whether you are a student in school or an adult at work or in your community, there are times in our lives when we are asked or told to give a speech. There is no way out of it. No matter how you feel about it, you have the assignment and you have to do it. This probably wouldn't be a problem except for the fact that public speaking is the number one fear of most people. However you feel about doing this task, reading a book on how to give a speech can be life changing. Reading a book about giving a speech that can make your task easier and your life easier, more comfortable, and less stressful if you follow the experience of the author. To seek the advice of a librarian, you learn that reading can help you out of your problem, that reading can give you the solution to some of the problems that you are experiencing in life. Now, here is another example of the consequences of reading. Imagine it is around 1938 or 1939 in Germany. A book was written that changed the lives of 80 million people. Let me say this again. There was a book written in Germany that ended up changing the lives of 80 million people. A man in Germany wrote a book in 1937. The book he wrote changed the lives of millions of people all around the world, every ethnic group. The man's name was General Heinz Wilhelm, last name spelled Guderian. He was a military theorist. The title of the book that he wrote was Achtung. I would say that it's translated as the word attention. Now, the book was not a bestseller, but it caught the attention of one man in Germany. That man was Hitler. Hitler was just coming to power in Germany, and he had made up his mind that he wanted to invade Poland and Czechoslovakia. And he was trying to figure out how he could do it successfully. And this book gave him the idea of how to conquer these two countries. What a book for Hitler to read. Hitler learned to use the airplane for artillery. The book also gave Hitler the idea of how to use tanks, how to keep tanks that were in constant communication with one another via a radio. This had never been done in warfare. Although France had the superior tank, the tanks were not managed the way that Hitler decided to manage them. Hitler developed the Panzer unit as a superior fighting force, and he did this by studying the attack techniques described in the book. The information written in the book by this general changed military history forever. If Hitler had not read this book, the course of human history would have been much, much different. Think of all the changes in the world that have taken place because some man or woman read a particular book that spurred them on to invent a new way of doing something, or a new invention like the wash machine or the elevator or the fire hydrant. So far, we have discussed how reading affects people in their daily lives, how reading affects people that commit crimes, and how reading affects people experiencing a social upheaval. Now we need to decide how reading is going to affect you. The Michigan primaries and the general election are coming up, so we thought we should say something about why you should vote. Elizabeth Wallis from the League of Women Voters in Texas says here are some reasons why you should vote. She says if nobody votes, it's not a democracy. If you don't vote, people will not take you seriously. Voting is how you define yourself as part of something larger than yourself. Number 4, if you do not vote, someone else will make the decisions for you. Voting is part of your independence. Number 5, it matters. It matters to the future of you, your family, and your community. 6, people who don't vote are letting down their families and their communities. Moms, do you have an 18-year-old in your family? If so, give him or her register and be certain they vote. 8, refusing to vote isn't a rebellion, it's a surrender. Number 9, love your country. Prove it by voting. Number 10, voting is the great equalizer. The richest billionaire in America gets just one vote, the same as you and me. Number 11, what do the smart people do? They vote. They are voters. Number 12, elections have consequences. Be a voter. Elected officials make all the big decisions, and they listen to the people who vote. Number 14, if you don't vote, you're invisible to the elected officials who make all the big decisions. Number 15, did you know people with money spend billions of dollars on elections? Billions spent for television ads, mailers, people to make phone calls and to knock on doors. The smart people spending all that money are trying to influence the voters. If it didn't matter, they wouldn't do it. Number 16. If you don't vote because you think your vote doesn't matter, then the people who don't want you to vote because you are afraid of how your vote will not win. Number 17. Bad people are elected by the good people who did not vote. Hundreds of thousands of Americans have died to protect your right to vote. You owe it to them to vote. 19. Voting is the right thing to do. Start preparing to vote now. Go and register at the Secretary of State's office. Find out where your polling place is and be prepared to be the first person in line to vote that day. If you do not have transportation to the polling place, call your local library and find out who is offering free transportation to polling locations. Remember, vote. I am going to pause for a second to take a short break while you listen to information regarding willpower and encouragement. It is all a matter of learning new behaviors. And please remember, it is easier to build strong minds than to repair injured people. What I said is a modification of a quote by Frederick Douglass. He said, it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Now,
what we need to focus on now is bringing positive energy into the world. The energy that we project every day is the same energy that we get back. We've all seen those people that can walk into a room and they glow. People want to be around them. People feel better being in their presence. That's the energy that we need to create. And once we learn how to do this, our life will be filled with greatness. We will attract that positive energy. And how we do this is by changing our outlook, leading every day with gratitude, thankfulness, optimism. And once you do this, you will see the change. I want you to take a moment and close your eyes. Think about everything positive in your life. Family, friends, a career, your faith. All of this is how you start your day. Every morning you wake up, I want you to think about what is positive in your life. I want you to list 10 reasons of why your life is amazing. And once you do this, you will see the change. You will be the change. You will begin to attract life's blessings. Lead with gratitude. Be thankful. And think positive. This right here, this is the moment right before the day starts when you get to look in the mirror and tell yourself who you are. Now, you've been through some dark days. I believe that. But all that pain and struggle, that made the person you're looking at now. So when you walk out of these doors today, I need you to believe in yourself. I need you to believe you are the strongest person walking this planet. They don't know what you've been through. They don't know the grind it took for you to be here. So when you leave here today, I need you to show them. What we need to focus on now is bringing positive energy into the world. The energy that we project every day is the same energy that we get back. We've all seen those people that can walk into a room and they glow. People want to be around them. People feel better being in their presence. That's the energy that we need to create. And once we learn how to do this, our life will be filled with greatness. We will attract that positive energy. And how we do this is by changing our outlook, leading every day with gratitude, thankfulness, optimism. And once you do this, you will see the change. I want you to take a moment and close your eyes. Think about everything positive in your life. Family, friends, a career, your faith. All of this is how you start your day. Every morning you wake up, I want you to think about what is positive in your life. I want you to list 10 reasons of why your life is amazing. And once you do this, you will see the change. You will be the change. You will begin to attract life's blessings. Lead with gratitude. Be thankful. And think positive. Having a goal or a plan to accomplish something isn't enough. You need to dig deeper than that. You need to tap into your subconscious to begin to reprogram your mind. And you do this through positive affirmations. Short statements that you repeat every day, regardless of your goal, how big or little. Whether your goal is to make more money, be a better boyfriend or girlfriend, or find a better job, whatever your goal is, you need to come up with short, positive statements about that goal and repeat it each morning. Start by doing this for 5 minutes. And once you begin to do this, you will start to see how the subconscious and conscious mind can work together. You have the potential to do amazing things. And through positive affirmations, you start to build that confidence. Think of all the goals that you've made in the past. Think about the mindset you were in at that moment. It was one of confidence and control. I will be successful in my job. I will make my next promotion. I will meet the love of my life. These are words of affirmation. Now tell me, what are your words? You need to live life with a purpose. You need to spend the time needed to explore, to find your true passion. There are so many unhappy people in this world not willing to make a change. There are so many unhappy people not focusing on the big picture. 1 out of 3 people are happy with their lives. Think about that for a second. 70% of the people you see every day are not happy. And the majority of that has to do with purpose. People are programmed, wired to be okay with the minimum. People stay in jobs they're not passionate about. They date people who don't support them, hang out with people who don't help them grow. This can't be you. You need to spend the time to discover what your true calling is. What are you passionate about? What do you see yourself doing to make your mark? Are you in a job right now that you're truly happy with? Do you wake up every morning excited to start your day? If not, that's okay. You know now this isn't fulfilling you. But what are you gonna do about it? Are you willing to make a change to help reach your goals? If you are, it needs to start now. Because this won't happen overnight, finding your true calling. But once you do, you will see how everything changes. You will begin to see the quality of your life increase. All those problems you had, they slowly fade. You begin to see how powerful life is with a purpose. Oftentimes, we talk so much about the success of something that we don't highlight how important failure can be. Failure is what gives us those real life lessons. And until you've experienced that, you can't truly understand what success means. Because through failure, we begin to understand who we are, what we're made of, what we're willing to do to become successful. Failure is only an event. It does not define you. All it does is create new opportunities for you to succeed. Once one door closes, more will open. But you need to believe that. You need to live life now. Risk everything for your dreams. No matter what the results are, trust in yourself that you will find a way to become successful. In this life, we do not fear failure. We embrace the opportunities that come from it. Think about everything that has been created in this world. If people would have given up after one failure, what would we have? We would literally have nothing. We do not fear failure. We grow from it, we learn from it, and we move on. When you wake up this morning, I want you to think about a few things. In your life, what makes you happy? Is it family, relationships? Is it working or building your career? Is it school or education? What makes you happy every day? What makes you eager to start your morning? Now, while you're doing this, I want you to block any negative thoughts that you have. This is the time of day where you begin to invite positive thoughts into your mind. I want you to think about gratitude, being thankful for the things that you have in your life, being thankful that you woke up this morning, that you have a job, place to sleep. Being thankful that you have people around you that truly love and support you. Now make sure when you walk through today, you do it with a positive mind and live by the law of attraction. Believe 100% that positive things will happen throughout the day. And even if things don't go as planned, do not spend time focusing on that. Everything that you want in your life can be achieved. And it's up to you to go out and make it happen. And remember, express positive energy and you will get positive things back in your life. This is how you live by the law of attraction.
I am going to read to you from the article, Reading Will Change Your Life. Reading is the gateway to a new life. If you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you need to change. You should pick up a book because therein lies the knowledge of change. The key to life is change. If you want a good life, then you must be capable and willing to change. If I ask you, do you want people to like you or do you want a better job? You will probably say yes to both of those. I do want people to like me and I would like a better job. If you do and you say yes to both these questions and you strive for the results, then you must be capable of change. For it is a given fact that if you change the way you think, you can change and you will change your life. Take the young man who just graduated from high school. He has a job at McDonald's. His friends tell him working at McDonald's is a do-nothing job. After listening to his friends for a while, he accepts his friends' appraisal of his job at McDonald's and he quits. Finding himself idle, he begins to hang out on the street corner. One of his ignorant buddies comes up with the bright idea to rob a liquor store. He follows and robs the store the next day. Soon he is arrested and charged with armed robbery and murder. He is convicted and off to prison he goes. The store owner was killed. He had no idea that his friends were carrying guns. Entire life was changed because he let his friends tell him that he was stupid for working at McDonald's. He also, life was changed because he did not realize that he was associating with people who wanted nothing. Our thoughts and emotions are shaped by the way we think, and the way we think is framed by the information that we receive from others. A good filtering process is necessary to keep one's thinking healthy. The young man we just spoke about did not use his filtering process, so his thinking was shaped by negativity and he met with poor results. We must always consider the information we receive from others. One way of balancing the information we receive from others is through reading. Reading opens the door to knowledge. Knowledge opens the door to the imagination. And imagination opens the door to life and prosperity and wealth and health. Change your life for the better. Begin to read. There is not one wealthy person in the world who does not read. And women cannot live better lives without changing the circumstances of their life, and you cannot change the circumstances of your life without new and reliable information. Reading is your way to obtain this information. Reading is your way to better your circumstances. Mood will change when you read. Hope will abound in your spirit when you read. A better life will seem possible with reading. Take time for yourself and read. Life is too short for you to let life pass you by because you lack the knowledge that will come from reading. Certain jobs that can come your way and you can't take these jobs because you don't have the skills. But if you would read, you would develop these skills and life would not pass you by. There is one change you must accept that you have to make in life if you truly want to survive as a human being, and that change is reading. Knowledge comes from reading. Understanding comes from reading. Tolerance and forbearance comes from reading. If you do not read, you have effectively isolated yourself from every other human being on this planet. Reading is one of the most important activities that you will ever participate in. So today you should decide to change. You should decide to become a reader. Either you need to learn to read, or once you learn to read, you need to continue reading. And if you already know how to read, you need to pick up a book written by your fellow man and find out what other people are thinking, what other people are doing around the world. Reading a book is the biggest change you will ever make in your life. One word or one experience from a book can spark an idea that can lead to wealth and happiness. Take time out of your busy day and pick up a book and read. And make certain that one of the books that you read is the Holy Bible.
You must read. The lives of your children and the survival of your family depend on what you know and what you do not know. You cannot continue to conduct your life making life-changing decisions based on what you learned 10, 20, or 30 years ago. You must obtain new information through reading. You cannot depend upon talk radio or conversations with your friends to obtain new information. You must begin reading for your survival. The world has changed. You are behind. Admit it. Now change. Whether you like reading is not important. What is important is that you must do more with your life. You say you are a good mother, but are you? If you are not reading, taking in new information to incorporate into your life to become a new person, then you are not a good mother. Why? Because children read when they see their parents read. Children mimic their parents because of their parents' example. Your children need to see you read. Your child will learn to value what you value. If you're not taking in new information, what makes you think your children are growing intellectually? It is not nice to be told you may not be a good mother because you are not reading. But it is not time to be nice. It is time for Black people to begin reading in earnest. Nothing is more important than reading. Nothing. Books should be everywhere in your home and car. Your children should be encouraged to read every day and not watch television. Their time is too valuable to be wasted watching mind-numbing shows or playing video games. You should have your child tested to make certain he or she can read competently. Reading competently means your child can not only tell you what he or she has read, your child can explain what he or she has read in writing. If your child cannot read, he or she has no time for TV. You must stop getting your nails done, purchasing wigs, or $100 purses, and find your child a tutor. If your child cannot read, the only thing you should be doing with your money is paying for a tutor. We are inventive and we are creative. All we need is to catch up with technology, which we can only do through reading. What are you going to do? The Bible is the greatest self-help and how-to book ever written. But have you paid any attention to its instructions, or are you waiting until you are bald and infirmed before consulting God? Are you waiting for the hour of your death before saying, God, I would like to go to heaven? Is there room up there for me? What if God turns to you and says, I never knew you? Then what? You will never be with him in paradise. An unexamined life is unworthy of you. Examine why you give one grandchild more money than you do your other grandchildren. Read and find out what God has to say about favoritism, jealousy, envy, and anger. Why do you cut people off when you're driving, or speed up when the man in front of you turns on his turn signal? Why are you so hateful every time a woman walks past you and her breasts are larger than yours? Why are your thoughts filled with evilness and self-loathing? Read and find out what God has to say about your envy and jealousy. Where has your humility gone? There is no light left in your spirit? Why can't you get along with your coworkers and neighbors? Why is there so much strife in your life? Is your son in prison? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit there and wring your hands, or are you going to consult God for leadership ideas? Why have all your friends left you behind? What about the children born on the other side of the blanket? Are you going to die and not acknowledge you are their father? Just what are you going to do? More of the same? Or are you going to go to God for advice and change? Read, meet yourself, and change. If you are allowing emotions to rule your life rather than God's words, then you need to change. If you can sit and watch the news at night and listen to what man has to say, surely you can give a little time to God. Is there nothing you can do for God except go to church and tell the pastor, I really enjoyed your sermon? How long are you going to go through life sucking up the food and air God provided and doing nothing for God? Putting your 50 cents in the collection plate does not fulfill your obligation to God or the life He provided you. When you breathe your last breath, there is no more time to change. There was a man imprisoned in Texas for 30 years to life. He was innocent. The innocent man was in prison, and the guilty man was outside drinking beer and sunning himself. He, the killer, had made a bargain with the prosecution to testify against the innocent man. The innocent man in Texas kept writing people until finally one of his letters reached an elderly woman. The woman believed him and began a writing campaign of her own. Finally, her letters reached a group of lawyers who agreed to re-examine the case. Their re-examination and legal fight led to the innocent man being freed. What would have happened to this man if that woman had not believed she could make a difference? What would have happened to this innocent man if this woman did not believe she could do something for God? There was an innocent man imprisoned in Alaska. A 78-year-old woman heard about his case and began writing lawyers trying to get him some help. He too was freed because a 78-year-old woman believed in herself and that her life mattered. Is there not anything you can do for the Lord besides going to church and saying amen? Just because you are on the building committee does not make you a servant of the Lord. God said help your fellow man, not go to church and be a deaconess parading around church in your uniform. Is there not anything you can think to do for the Lord besides praying? How long are you going to keep going to church, listening to the choir, and having a good time? One of the world's greatest resistance movements was the Montgomery bus boycott. People put their lives on the line for one another. They faced an evil and used their bodies to stand in its path. Their action changed the world. Their actions told people everywhere, even a poor man has power. You have power, but you do not use this power. You continue to believe what other men have told you. So every day you sit with your cigarette and drink away your life, imagining what you could do with your life if only such and such would happen. There are children suffering all over this country. Is there nothing you can do for the Lord to alleviate this suffering? God is not impressed that you are not a deacon in the church, nor is He impressed that you are a member of the usher board. What have you done for him? Being an usher or a deacon is a man-made assignment. Do you think that is all God wants you to do for him, is to be a deacon or usher in a church? The second greatest commandment is, love thy neighbor as thyself. Have you done this? Are you saying there are no more possibilities to your life except being a deacon and an usher? What are you going to do today that is different than what you did yesterday? Are you going to sit and continue to brood over the circumstances of your life? Or are you going to take charge of your life, read a book, and change? Are you going to allow God's Word to heal your mind and cause action in your life? There is always one last morsel you can snatch from life.
Reading is one of the most important activities that a person can participate in. A world of information is available to you. This information can help you shape and change not only your life, but the lives of your children and spouse. Visit the website touchedbythelight.us and find yourself a book to read. For more information, you can email us at murderedvoices@gmail.com. Thank you for listening to Women of Courage, and have a great day.